Right, welcome everybody. Thanks very much for coming. It's just gone 6, so we'll get going. I'm going to talk to you about a video I produced earlier today. I don't know if you've seen it. Well, if you haven't seen it, it doesn't matter. I'll go over what the contents of that. And I'll explain to you a little bit about, well, I explained to you a lot about Scalper School and about how we make a daily income and how we approach the market with a trade setup that is 77% successful. I'll explain why it's successful as well. Okay, so let's just take a look at the video I produced, and then we'll talk about what happens in Scalper School. This is the video. I produced a video based on this FTSE, and I said that, oh, excuse me, let me just sort this out. In this video, it's on my Facebook page and my blog on tradetheeasyway.com, and I said I was going to short these highs on the basis that this daily chart, let me just line this up properly, on the basis of this daily chart was tripping over. And we already, and the trade setup that we had up here was very, very similar to what we'd seen on a few occasions. So here back in September we saw a push high and then rolled over, saw a push high, rolled over, saw a push high, or we've already started to roll over. So I was shorting into this high here, and I'm still short, and this is still working. So at the moment I've got short very high because we've got an intraday setup, Scalper School setup, that actually can convert into a swing trade. So we're just looking to gauge when this market is really ready for another leg down. Now, for those of you who are beginners, or those of you who are maybe your seasoned traders, one of the things I like to look at is the wave pattern. We all know markets don't go straight up and straight down. You know, they wave to the upside and then they wave to the downside. Well, there's something called Elliott wave, and it doesn't matter if you are in Scalper School, we do not leave trades overnight, not in Scalper School, but obviously I am a scalper and a swing trader. So what I tend to do is, if I am swing trading a setup, it's a good question, thanks for that. If I am swing trading something, then I will actually classify it in the chat room we've got and explain that I am holding this, I've initiated this trade, I've taken this trade. If it closes under a certain level, I will keep the stop above the daily level and then treat it as a swing trade. But as I'm running a Scalper School, I've got a room full of traders who don't want to, generally speaking, do not want to hold things overnight. So there are occasions when we do not hold things overnight, but I do make it clear if I am turning this into a swing trade, and on this occasion I am turning this into a swing trade. Okay, so we've got this push to the upside and this history of coming down. So if you're an Elliott wave fan, I'll just give you a very brief introduction to it, but Mr. Elliott says that if you've had an impulsive wave to the downside, then wait for a pullback to a certain level, which I won't discuss now. In fact, I might do a completely separate session on Elliott wave. You wait for the next wave, and so this is the impulse wave, this is the pullback, and then you get the next impulse wave. And generally the third wave is the longest wave. So here we've had not very impulsive, it's not very deep, but nonetheless it is a pullback into resistance. So I've decided to get short of these highs, posted that in the video, made that video public today, and that's the reason, this is the reason why I have gone short on this resistance level up here, and looking and holding it with a stop above here and at today's highs, and then seeing if that can generate another push to the downside. Okay, but overall, we're here to talk about, let's talk about day trading for now, and let's discuss what one of the things that we do in Scalper School, how we earn our daily living in Scalper School. So I'll just trim all this back and talk to you about what we're up to now. This is the FTSE, so obviously it operates in London, in UK timescale. So what we do is we mark off the first 5-minute range, and then so we're looking for the direction of the trade during that day, not the overall trend. So there are occasions where we do counter trend trades if it's counter to the daily trend. But on this particular, on Scalper School, we're just looking for the trend of the session, of the day, not necessarily the trend, the overall trend. So here we are coming into the open with, this is the first 5-minute high and the first 5-minute low. So we mark that off, and then we're looking for a break, the up break for the high to the long side, or a break to the low to the downside. You can see the next bar does a little dip back under this 71.85 and then pushes high for 10 minutes. Now, just out of interest, this is quite a good technical move, because that distance of that range there is actually very close to the high of that bar. What we're looking for is, we're looking for 25 pips. I'm looking for it in the first half an hour of the session, and then we're getting out, and then we're just walking away. So on this particular trade, this would have given us, let me just qualify what that actual distance was. So the break is 71.85. We like to buy, we don't just buy the straight break, we do like to try and get some sort of pullback. So 180, so 84, so we actually end up with 16 pips on that one. Now we didn't actually trade this, I'm just using this as an example. The one we did trade was this one. You can see how this is marked up. So let's have a look at how this one behaved this morning. Now, this is actually a good example. I admit on this particular occasion, now I said it's 77% successful. So on this occasion, I actually got a stop out in my room in front of everybody else. So this was the initial bar. Same 5-minute range as the FTSE. The FTSE fired long. This actually triggered long. So we bought about mid-range here. And I had a stop, quite a close stop, just under the range here. And you can see I actually got stopped out. So it started to work. So my entry was, I think about 92. My stop was 82. So I literally had, I probably had gave it a couple, about 12 pip stop. My default is 12 pips. So I actually had a 12 pip stop out here this morning, but you can see it dipped underneath, pulled back, and it just wavered. Now, so it's good to show you something that doesn't work. I'm not here to say this system, this method is fantastic. It's never 100%. Nothing in trading is 100%. So I'm being honest with you and saying, in public, I got stopped out, so that's fine. So what I did do is, I did short this high. Now, we have what's called a golden anchor chart, which I'm not going to go through here because that's a core part of Scalper School. So we have a golden anchor, and the golden anchor triggered short right at that high. So we got, I got a minus 12 pip stop on this DAX, but this is very similar to the FTSE. The FTSE fired up here and then sold. So when this fired up and hit our resistance level, our golden anchor resistance, I shorted. So although I got minus 12 here, I'm currently about plus 50 on this one. So, I have small losses, and although we're scalping, we are looking for bigger moves. I am trying to identify bigger moves for our intraday traders in our room at particularly this part of the week when the market is really sort of showing its hand and showing what it wants to do. So there's several sides to Scalper School. So we've got the live trading room, opens 8 o'clock in the morning. We generally are closed up by about 9 o'clock, so we're generally only open for an hour. Then we are open for the US session as well. Let's have a look at the Dow. The Dow is really nice today. So here is the Dow, and this was a very nice trigger. It triggers long here, but we don't take the long because that's too early in the session. It triggers short here. You get one, that's at least 25 pips. I think it's probably about 40 pips. It retraces, and then you get the way to the downside. Okay, so this will be our initial move, and then this would be our second bite of the cherry, if you like. Okay, but what is important to us is the way in which we use the anchor chart. This is not our golden anchor. This is obviously one of the time frames where I'm sure if you've been trading for any length of time, no doubt you are watching this one. If you're not, then I would strongly advise you do use it. So you can see how I plotted this one at this stage. For all this wind down and these key structural breakdowns here, and we are achieving made a decent structural breakdown here. So there's the long trend. So we broke the trend on Wednesday the 27th. Came into the markets on Monday and experienced quite a big downfall. Now we're getting into the next leg now. So that was support, that's now resistance. It started selling on Tuesday midday yesterday, closed lower, and we have a breakdown situation now where that is just potentially coming back down to this week's lows and potentially lower. So that's a very, very quick introduction to Scalper School. That's a quick introduction to what we're doing today and how we're positioned today in terms of this market. And so when we are active in Scalper School, there's several facets to it, several services to it. We've got the live trading room, which is at least 6 hours a week of everybody joining me and sharing trade ideas in the room. So that's 3 hours Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday morning, a minimum of 3 hours Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday afternoon. Quite often it's more in the afternoon. You don't have to be available for the afternoon as well. That's just an add-on. In fact, I didn't used to open the room in the afternoon, but I have started to do that as of this year, 2019. The other side is we have a 5-day-a-week chat room. So I'm posting trade ideas in there 5 days a week. And we have a Monday evening, a Monday 7 p.m. training session where we're not just we're going over the setups, we're reminding people of the key levels that we're looking at, and we're also, so we're scanning the market, and then we're doing a Q&A session and a training session as well. And then there are minimum 3 videos during the week just to update you as to what's happened. And every single day I take a screen grab of what we call the golden anchor chart, and that gets reviewed every day. And on the Monday evening session that we all get together at, that is a core part of that as well. So if you are a scalper looking for daily income, then we're looking for minimum 25 pips for 6 sessions a week. And then if you are also looking to trade intra-week, I will call out trades that you could potentially hang on to if you choose. Okay, so this one's a nice, this FTSE is very, very slow. I don't normally trade this one, but if you get a setup like this where the market really is obviously quite exhausted up here, I can actually trace that down there a bit longer. The market is quite exhausted. It's fairly common for markets to overstretch key trend lines like that. If anything, I prefer markets that go above these lines, because when they return back into them, you can be sure you've got a higher probability set up to short that. So 7,200 was a very, very nice short, and we've got a really tight stop. You could sit your stop at about 72, 20, 25, depending on what you prefer to do. Obviously, I will put it above, for my stop is above 72.25, and we are looking for a first target of, sorry, just my mouse was moving then. I think, well, the first target is 71.46, and then the most likely outcome in the next potential 2 to 5 days is a push back into 70.60 and ultimately 7,000. Okay, so if I just recap on what I'm seeing in overall terms, it ticks a lot of boxes. Box number 1 is the fact we've already had decent move down. So that's tick number 1. Tick number 2 is the fact that we've retraced and then closed underneath the trend line. That's tick number 2. And the fact it's a lower high, so we've got a nice high here, series of lower highs here. This is this overall push to the upside is a lower high. That's another tick. And the fact that we got a lower close is, so you can go on ticking that. There's quite a few ticks in there. So to me, this is a high probability trade. It's low risk because my stop is relatively close to the entry. So the actual amount of capital I'm risking is minimal. And there you are. So from a scalp, this was buyable in the morning for, well, in this particular case, 15 pips. That's why I don't trade the FTSE in the trading room. I trade the DAX and the Dow because they are much more volatile. So this was good. Well, no, this wasn't good because I got stopped out on this very rare occasion. But this was good for the sell at that high. We are currently, I'm scaling out of this. So I would have scaled out half down here, sticking a stop above here, and I would actually keep the stop there, and if it retraced up here and put another sell signal up here, I would take another position with another tight stop. So I don't mind if that bounces back and retraces and gives back my profits, obviously as long as I don't get stopped out. But if it retraces to say 635 and then starts to sell, I would get a stop in there above those highs again and get another half position. But generally speaking, what we're at in Scalper School, we're after 25 pips per session per day, and that was easily attainable in these markets. And so that is something that we're interested in. Let's look at the 4 hour on the Dow. Any questions? So at the moment, that is a very nice trade. Some of the trades we take are counterintuitive. Some of the best setups that we have, we only have 5 setups. There are 2 setups we take on a 5-minute chart and 3 setups that we take up on the golden anchor chart. So we're not dashing in and out for 5-10 pips, and we're certainly not dashing in and out for 5-10 pip moves, which is some people's definition of scalping. It's not our definition of scalping. Yes, you can. Imran's asked, do I spread bet? I actually, most of the time I trade on a futures account, but the people in my room who are observing my trades and taking their trades following me at their own risk, they are spread betting. So most people who come into my room are spread betting, but not everybody. I'm a discretionary trader, so I'm basically calling the trades out. There's no programming, there's no sort of app that's sort of taking these trades and putting in the exits. I am openly calling them and manually taking the trades at my discretion, at my setups. I have been approached to automate this. A few people have approached me about automating this. I've resisted because there are 3 factors in our decision making, and so at this point in time I've avoided automating it until I'm happy I can get some software with different parameters. So I may do that further down the line, but certainly not doing that at the moment. If you would, I'm going to go on to more details about what I'm seeing in the markets at the moment. Bear with me one moment, just going to clear my throat, hang on. Good question. Thanks, Andy. Does this work on shares? Yes, it does. But it works in a different format. The shares I have used it on are NASDAQ stocks. And the reason why I've done this on NASDAQ stocks is because you've got more time to set them up, because obviously the US is 5 hours behind us. But the main reason why I do it on NASDAQ stocks is because there is pre-open activity on NASDAQ stocks. You can, I don't teach how to do it on stocks because that's a different, it's a different strategy for trading the open on stocks. But you can identify stocks that have unusual volume prior to the open, and you can, with a slightly different strategy, trade the gaps in stocks. So for example, if you're interested in doing this, don't often get asked this, so there's a few people who are interested. Quite often you've got let's say it's Facebook, could be anything. Let's say Facebook has gapped up, so we closed at, say, I don't know, 160. And Facebook is gapped up to, say, 170. I would generally look for anything between, normally, if the bigger the gap, the lower level of fill I will tolerate. But normally with that sort of gap, I'd expect a sort of a total fill, maybe an overshoot, and then I would buy it once it's given a buy signal, and then see if I get back to 170 plus. If we have a gap, let's say we have a gap at 160, and sorry, it closes at 160, and we open at say 178, I would be more inclined to watch for just a 50% gap fill, and then trade it back through to the gap and beyond. So it's a good strategy. To really perfect it, I think you need a direct access platform. I was taught how to do this on a direct access platform with Nasdaq stocks, and I was taught how to identify the ECNs that are the market makers and so on. So that's quite involved. That's a completely different strategy, but interesting one. If you're interested, come on to TradeTheEasyWay.com, drop down to Trade Daily, Earn Daily, Scalper School, and you come to this page. This is a presentation I did with slides. I've actually showed my live account in this, so if you haven't seen that already, so it's TradeTheEasyWay.com/scalper-school, or go to the drop down, and you'll read about the report that was done, the analysis over 9 months worth of data, and then have a look at my live account through this video if you're interested. And then if you would like to learn more, you can either talk to me via this lady here, email me from there and give me your phone number or email, whatever you want to do. If you want to go ahead, the next one is the 16th of March. Click on the registration and fill your name in, submit it. Once you've submitted it, then go to the PayPal button down there. So 16th of March is Saturday week, a week on Saturday. If you're interested, let me know. And but it's good to be in a trading room and working together as a team. We've got a good team going. Some of the traders in our room have actually been trading for quite a few years, so there's a lot of experience in the room. But the reason why I've got experienced traders in the room is because they love the rules-based setup, the rules-based system that we use in Scalper School. So in fact, my latest recruit is a very, very experienced lady who I've worked with in the past and has just signed up for the 16th of March, and looking forward to working with her. We talk about the whole sort of screen setup, platforms and brokers as well, but it is primarily about how we handle the open and how you can use the golden anchor to really increase the probability of your trades. Right, let's just, any questions, keep firing away. Otherwise, I'll just show you other markets that we're interested in. This is oil. We're not trading oil at the moment. We took a trade on oil yesterday. Not everybody in the room trades oil, that's fine. We concentrate on the indices. But we do trade oil as well. We took a trade down in this support level. You can see how I've zoned this off. So we bought on this support zone. We didn't get very many pips. I like to try and reduce the risk of the trades we're taking. So the guys who took it pushed their stops up. I think we only took something like 25-30 cents out of it. So it's a relatively small move. But if you do that every day, the compound effect you get on your account is very nice. I've just taken a swing trade. Actually, I called this about an hour ago. I'm currently, believe it or not, I'm long the soybeans in a swing trade account. Why am I long the soybeans, you might ask? And I'll show you. We have had quite a lot of move to the upside. Yeah. And here we are just nestling in a $9 zone here. So I just bought a $9 futures contracts to see, and my stop is under this low here. I'm waiting to see if we can push through 920 and actually go into 950. So we've had some nice waves to the upside. So I'm buying a low risk dip with a very tight stop to see if that can push to the upside. Okay, so that's soybeans. So I've got a very close stop. If I'm wrong, then I'm going to get out pretty quick, and then I can see what that one's doing. If you're interested in stocks, this is one I have been trading. Oh, it's not that. This one. I've been buying. You can see how I've marked this one up. It's very range bound, in quite a big range, 343. This is a UK stock on the London Stock Exchange. I've had lows of 270 and highs of 340. I've been buying the dips down here. I actually traded it twice. I took one trade off of here and another trade off of here. And so this was quite a small trade, got out, and then started buying down here again. And I'm holding this one to see if that can push higher. We don't tend to trade Forex. Forex, you can see on this chart, I have traded Forex in the room before, but I stopped it because it became too range bound and the volatility wasn't enough for day trading. Now you can day trade Forex, you can perfectly easily day trade Forex, but we don't do it in the room because of lack of volatility. Okay, so this is a very short presentation because I didn't want to sort of go through too much and take up too much of your time. You can see I've marked this one up. I'm looking to see if the gold can come off of here. This is gold on a daily chart. I've been suggesting that gold could hold here for at least another leg up to 1350. Oh, you're in Glen. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking for 350. I think we'll see 350. We've got a gap up here of 363. There's a lot of what I would call insider trading at these lows. In other words, a lot of directors buying down here, which always interests me. That's one of the triggers I look at. This chart is stuck. I don't know. I have to talk to my provider here. No, it's not. It has worked today. Yeah. Okay. For some reason, I thought there was a problem. No, that's fine. What price are you looking for? If you're in it, what price are you looking for? I think if you look at the weekly, I'm just wondering if, so the stock markets are quite shaky at the moment. I'm just wondering if we can actually get up to 4 and potentially 5 up there, 500. But short term, I'm looking for 350 short term. And I think that will do it, but obviously we don't know that. I have been calling in my room, despite the shorts in the Dow, I have been looking at these lows. I did try along here, and I actually got stopped out. So you could have taken some profit here for scalping. 650 to that's moved 65 pips, but unfortunately it rolled over again. But it looks as if you're in at 305 and you're looking for 3. Okay, let's go back to that a second. So you're okay. That seems a sensible short-term target. I can see that I can see those targets hit. Obviously, there's no. You're at 305. It's a little bit high for me. I do like to get in. See, this started on this latest leg from 3rd of Jan. I have been buying these 275, 285. But I think as long as we don't get on the 288, that looks okay. The 316, 320, yeah, that will take you into this big bar here from the 2nd of November. Yeah, it's quite a good trade. It's a bit messy, quite a few gaps and so on, but it's all right. It's not bad. Any other questions? Anybody trade Bitcoin? I've never traded Bitcoin. I keep looking at it. Wow, it's very volatile. Look at that on the 24th of Feb. It doesn't just come back to support. It really gets floored, doesn't it? Okay, well look, come and join us on Scalper School. It's a 4-hour program initially on Saturday the 16th. So we kick off at 9:30, generally finish by about 1. We do simulated trading. So even though the market's shut, I actually simulate trades, simulate the environment that we work in, and get you to look at that. And of course you get check sheets, you get a recording of the program, and then of course you get, I think this course fee includes 70 hours of my time, minimum of 70 hours. So you get a lot of my time. I'm always available for any questions that you want to ask during the week or after the program. It's brilliant. It's great. It's good fun as well. And incidentally, if you ever want to, I run some face-to-face programs. I'm presenting on the 23rd of March in Covent Garden if you're interested. And I'm also I run what's called a wealth club, and that is meeting at London Bridge on the 3rd of April. If you're interested, type in here and I'll give you the link. I'll give you the link anyway and you can think about it. Anyway, but come along to Scalper School and have fun and join us. Right, if you want the link to the Wealth Club, it's there. If you want to join us on Scalper School, it's here. Okay, the Wealth Club is only £5 each, only £5 each per meeting. That's just to cover the higher costs of the meeting room, and it's 400 metres from London Bridge Station, so it's very easy to get to. And I don't have the link for the 23rd of March at the moment because that's only just been confirmed today, but I will email that to everybody as soon as I get that in the next couple of days. Brilliant. So that's what we've been doing today, and okay, let's have a look at the Dow, 5 minutes. Yeah, look at that, they've stopped me out. We dipped it to 630 and now we're 60 pips up from that low already. Nice move. So I thought we were going to see this. So that's why I called along here in the trading room. Well, those who took that call potentially got 50, 60 pips out of that anyway. But this Dow is a lovely instrument to trade because the volatility is so high. It's excellent. So good day trading mechanism. If you're interested in day trading stocks, I will cover that. if there is an interest there, I will spend time covering it if you're interested, if you want to go down that road. Right. Thank you very much for joining me. Any further questions before I call a close? Any further questions? All right. No questions. Brilliant. Like I said, thanks a lot for joining me. I do run these every single Wednesday at 6 o'clock. So do come back next Wednesday. Keep this link safe. If you haven't lost the link, I'll resend it. But I'll be talking about what I've been doing on that particular day. Keep it nice and short, just a short intro, so you can get a feel for what we're doing and how we are handling these markets. All right, thanks again, and let me know if you want some more information. Otherwise, book those seats. Get booked up. Thanks very much, guys. Bye for now.